Good afternoon, class. It is time for our Monday social studies. Last week, Thursday, we learned about the Statue of Liberty and how far it is from our community. Today, in Lesson 2, Section 4, on page 25, we will learn about the Everglades.
Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Hello and good time of day to you. This is Matt.
And this is Rachel.
And this is the coolest stuff on the planet, and today's coolest stuff, the Florida Everglades.
Yay! So the Everglades is this big watery ecosystem that covers a big portion of southern Florida.
Yes, very watery.
Yes, and people often think of the Everglades as this big swamp.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised to discover this. Technically, the Everglades is this big, shallow, slow-moving river.
So it's a vast and complex ecosystem full of diverse habitats, plant and animal life. Originally, the Everglades, now, it was a lot larger than it is currently.
Mm-hmm.
It was around 11,000 square miles, was the size of it before, but today only about a fourth of that remains, mostly due to human development and a thing called drainage. What's drainage?
Like canals and
Just as the
water diversion and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
for other purposes.
Cool.
Yeah. Starting probably from 1900, human development started to negatively impact the Everglades, so people were concerned about what the impact would be.
Yes.
So this lady, she was an environmentalist, she was a writer, she was a journalist. Her name was Marjorie Stoneman Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
She really brought the Everglades to the kind of the mind of the public, like what it was and its plight when she wrote this book called The Everglades, River of Grass in 1947.
So that same year, 1.5 million acres were decided. It was decided that was going to become the Everglades National Park. It's the first one to protect an ecosystem rather than just say, hold off this area because we think this scenery looks really nice and it's a great place to be. They're actually protecting.
Mountains and,
yeah.
The interesting thing I think about Everglades National Park, it's not as sort of, I guess, visually impressive in some ways as, at least at first, as like the Grand Canyon or places like that. It's kind of it has a more subtle beauty. But there's this really great quote I found from President Harry Truman when the park was dedicated in 1947, and he was talking about, what makes this park beautiful. And so I'm going to read this quote.
Let me give you a little starting off point and then you can start. You ready?
Okay. So, quote, "Here are no lofty peaks seeking the sky, no mighty glaciers or rushing streams wearing away the uplifted land. Here is land, tranquil in its quiet beauty, serving not as the source of water, but as the last receiver of it," end quote.
So you'll see a lot of plant and wildlife in the Everglades when you're there. There are over 300 species of birds and more than 30 species of mammals. You've got things like the Florida panther, which is terrifying and beautiful. The manatee.
And
Elusive.
Hard to spot.
Very elusive. The manatee, which is not so elusive and lumbering.
Which we love.
Yes, so cute. You're going to find alligators and crocodiles. I hope you knew that, because if you're there and you didn't think you're going to see crocodiles and alligators, well, sorry.
You're gonna.
Yeah. Oh, also, check this out. Rachel, you told me this earlier, and I think this is great. Alligators and crocodiles coexist in the Everglades, and it's one of the only places, or the only place. It is the only place in the world where they coexist.
Yeah, that really blew my mind, because I just thought there would be somewhere else in the world where they would, but apparently because their habitats are so different, South Florida is the only place in the world where they coexist. So one animal that you might see in the Everglades, but that you're not supposed to see there, is the Burmese python. Because apparently what's happened over the last 9 or 10 years is that pet owners have started to release their snakes into the Everglades, but it's a problem because it's an invasive species.
Yeah.
And it affects all the other animals that are supposed to be in the Everglades. So because of the importance of the Everglades, the water is both important to human development, but also to the ecosystem and the animals in it. So because of this problem, this clash between these two different needs for the water, there have been a lot of efforts to conserve and restore the Everglades. There's a joint state and federal project called the Conservation Everglades Restoration Plan, or the CERP.
Wow.
1994, I think it was, Florida signed the Everglades Forever Act into law, which allows for restoration and conservation.
Certainly sounds like it was a very positive thing.
Everglades forever, man.
Everglades forever! So that's all we could possibly say about the Everglades. Well, in 5 minutes, I guess.
We could say a lot more, but
Yes. But if you'd like to learn more about it, check out our website, howstuffworks.com.
aside from the regular articles that you find, I also found this neat blog post by Sarah Dowdy, who's one of our staff writers and also a podcaster.
Yes.
And she wrote an interesting little post on a link between the Everglades and fashion. Check that out. And while you're there, looking at the blogs, check out the Coolest Stuff blog, which is done by Amanda Arnold, which is really great. It's cool stuff. And we will see you later.
Okay, class. So, in Lesson 2, Section 4, we're going to be reading about the Everglades. Have you ever seen an alligator? Would you like to meet a crocodile? You can find these other animals in a famous place called the Everglades. The Everglades are warm and wet. If you visit the Everglades, you will notice that the land is soggy with tall grass growing out of it. Lots of birds, snakes, crocodiles, and alligators live there too. People visit the Everglades to camp, to see wildlife, and to fish. The Everglades are in the state of Florida. They cover a lot of land in the southern part of the state. Oops, sorry guys, trying to make sure you can see. Of this state, Florida is north and east of the Gulf of Mexico. Do you live near north or south of the Everglades? Over here in blue, it just says the alligator lives in the Everglades. The Everglades are a warm and wet area in the state of Florida. So today we have this worksheet. In your Monday folders, you should see it will say Monday. It's page 4 at the bottom. If you can take out this page for me, at the top, write your name. Let me grab a pen, guys. Section 4, the Everglades. What are the Everglades? Label the dot on the map with the name of the place and its state. Draw a line from your community to that dot. Use your ruler to measure the distance between them. Write the distance on the line. So for our worksheet, you'll also need your ruler. Get your scale ruler and we will get started. Guys, always remember you can pause the video if you need to. Complete the sentences below. So first we're going to outline the state that we live in. I have a pink. You guys can use whatever color you have handy. You may use a marker if you like. This is Wisconsin. Our community, we're like down here, is Milwaukee. That star represents Milwaukee. So it says the distance from name of my community. That is Milwaukee. So we'll write Milwaukee there. Milwaukee to the Everglades is about blank miles. So I'll start at the 0. My 0 will be on my star where my community is, and the Everglades is in Florida. So Florida is right here. To get to Florida, it is, oops, sorry guys, 1,100 miles. 1,100 miles. The direction from Milwaukee to the Everglades is, so from Milwaukee, if I go down, oh, let's get our compass rose on here. Sorry guys. North, south, east, and west. So from Milwaukee, we're going down. Our direction will be south, guys. And it's really like south. No, southeast. Let's just put south. All right, guys. Thank you for doing your Monday social studies with me. And if you have any questions, feel free to chat and let us know. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for Tuesday. Have a great day.